Good morning. It is December 29th, still not the new year, and it's day 2 of videoing and documenting my interactions with a vinyasa yoga flow. Yeah, I am just documenting my progress. In day 1, I talk a little bit about how yoga is the only practice I have on a daily basis, or even on an intermediate basis, that kind of can wrangle my emotions and get me out of like a dissociative state. I have complex trauma, and it's helped me so much that I really want to give it back. And so my right now could change. Right now my plan is to kind of do like maybe like a 5-year plan, and oh my god, a 5-year plan to get a teaching certificate in either probably like a vinyasa or a yin, which is really restorative and really healing. But I can't afford a studio, and I can't afford a coach right now, so I'm doing it all by watching myself, studying the practice, maybe giving like myself watching videos, learning terms of poses, learning different transitions, things like that. I don't know what I'm doing, but I figured it would be cool for myself to watch the journey. And so this flow is the one I did yesterday. It's a 1-hour intermediate vinyasa yoga for flexibility, balance, and strength by Yoga with Cassandra. She's on YouTube. Everything I use is on YouTube. Everything is not mine, besides whatever commentary I have on my own practice, but that's never the commentary on the videos that I'm using for my practice. Yeah, so I guess we'll just get into it. Yeah, I'm not sure if my brows are furrowed or what, but I think I look a little bit more relaxed today than I did yesterday on day 1. Video's also slightly better. You get a little bit more view of what's happening. Hey, it's day 2. At least I've shown up 2 days in a row. This day I feel like I leaned more into being present. Okay, here's the crunches. Again, yeah, my neck a little hunched in. So day 3, I'll work on that one a little bit more. Yeah, my ankles are weird. I can roll them like this. I can't roll them like this together. Just weird brain disconnect. So working on them every day, isolating each one, rotating them both ways is actually very helpful. I wonder if it's part of my concussion or it's part of the body brain disconnect that I have. I don't know. Could just be my body being silly. Sometimes it's not that deep. Yep, square hips with the happy baby. Scrunch that face, ouchie. Yeah. I'm really realizing how inflexible my lower back and my hips are. I don't know how I got here, but it sucks. Yeah, I think like foot and ankle mobility is hella underrated. I didn't know where to put my head. Yeah, stretching at that lower hip. It just sucks. The hips are a common place of stored issues, trauma, emotions, so it makes sense that it's always so tight. There's a bridge. Yeah, my body looks very flat, not like curving upwards, and I do think that's because of the low mobility I have in the back. So, yeah, just something to be aware of. Yeah, this always gets like the lower back pain that I have. Always feels good to stretch it out with a cat cow. Yeah, back leg can't really get up anymore because of the lack of flexibility. And yeah, that is crazy. Like my back leg cannot lift up and back. It can only kind of go out. Even though when I'm doing that pose, it feels like I am pushing myself to stretch. So just validating what I saw yesterday. Aligning the shoulders. Yeah, that one's hard to just keep my leg out straight too, but that one feels good to do. I think eventually I'm supposed to be able to do these modified push-ups and child's poses with my back legs down. But for now, I feel like I learned how to do modified push-ups like that in elementary school and I haven't unlearned it. So I'm gonna work on that, I guess. That's just a nice camel reset pose. Other side. Yeah. She is not, my leg does not want to come back up, backing up. So I don't really know what to do about that, but it is what it is. Oh, yeah, same with that leg. Holding it up and straight. I know it's a matter of flexibility and strength for these types of things. I just don't know what exactly yet. And I don't know if, doing the same routine and the same practice over and over will help it. I'm just not sure. Because I have noticed incremental benefits or progress on even touching my toes or like my shoulder mobility. I have noticed that just by doing vinyasa more frequently and more consistently. So I am hopeful that maybe continuing this will can't hurt, I don't think, but it might help that lower flexibility and lower hip pain. Yeah, downward dog. The first downward dog is never easy. It's always very tense. Yeah, and like I can't like the bending for even just a rag doll is so rounded. It's not like I can bend. I'm bending rounded. I'm not bending flat. Like kind of bending in half. So hmm. A bear pose, not a chair pose. A chair, I would move my body up, my top half of my torso up more. Um, Again, with yogi squats, I have really bad ankle mobility because of the bunions and my foot anatomy. So I have to really widen that um, yogi yogi squat in order for my feet to touch the bottom of the floor. Uh, but I do notice when I'm doing that now, the yogi squat, like I can definitely straighten my back a bit more, which is cool in it. Um, some side stretches. Yeah, again with that flat back, she's not very flat. I don't know. Yeah, that lack of like being able to move my foot back in a three-legged dog is crazy. Oh yeah, needed the padding for my knees for sure. Got them sensitive knees. Yeah, again with that back of the hamstring, back of the upper thigh. So tough. The instructor is very adamant about some of these poses really being restful poses and non-resistant poses. So I always find it difficult in that when I'm trying to build strength and flexibility to lean into the non-resistance or lean into the ease of some of those poses, but they are good, and I like mixing them in between multiple different between like having a different flow of a practice. Yep, again, I cannot do a gecko pose on my back leg yet. And during a gecko pose I like to flip my wrists so that it stretches out my compressed carpal tunnels here. Yep, hip mobility. Pretty short change. And I don't actually even know how much of that is just my anatomy versus my flexibility, but I think it can be worked on. Yep, ouchie, right in the sciatica. Trying to actually relax into that pose instead of pushing myself and holding my toes and active stretching. Like the instructor says, make it a passive stretch. Gotta mix it up while you're doing your practice. I think the instructor calls it a easy side twist, and it's definitely that. It feels good to do. Yeah, the modified gecko with my wrists inward instead of outward. Another vinyasa. Yep. High lunge. Oh yeah. Twist. Lunge twist. I don't actually know the name of this pose. Eventually I will go into these videos or else do different videos about me learning like the formal names of these poses, the formal transitions into them. I don't want to, create any disrespect towards the practice or its origin. So, I just need to get into it first, and that's what these videos are trying to do. But I really do want to dive deeper into like the technicality of it all. Yep, same thing. Cannot get that freaking leg outward, the bent leg. I will say my balance has definitely improved, which is really exciting. Like I can move through that whole pose without falling most of the time. And it's okay even if I do, but I just think it's cool improvement for myself to see. Yeah, and even getting out of it, shake it out. Yeah, that's it's pretty good for what it is. Other side, high lunge, lunge twist coming up. Yeah, I will learn more of the technical and traditional names for these poses. I'm taking it slow. I am not a fast learner. I'm an active learner. Have to be doing things in order to learn them. Just trying not to beat myself up for not being automatically like a genius at this stuff. Same thing on the other side. Gaining my traction and balance. Again, that knee is in, needs to come out. But we'll work on that. I'm still also in, when I'm balancing, I have my arms down. Eventually, I'd like to be able to get them up and really keep them there and then go in and bend down, but we're not there yet. Hold up, my cat is meowing. This is supposed to be like a formal wild thing at this point. Cannot do that. That stuff is really hard and it goes into a warrior too. Yep. I feel like I'm always bending deep into that, but I'm not. Warriors are like more wide out, I feel like at the hip level. That's kind of crazy. Okay. Could be the angle of the camera, but I'm not sure. Trying not to judge my cellulite in my thighs. Yeah, this one, because I can instantly feel the stress in the bent back leg, back thigh, which makes me think that's where a lot of these lower body flexibility things are hiding. Maybe I should put some art on the back wall. There's some more above the camera, but you can't really see it in this angle, so yeah, maybe clean up some of those wires. I don't know. I wasn't trying to make this like a whole change my life in order to make these videos. It's more, I'm changing my life and making these videos. Yep, again, my knee cannot come down at all. I think that has to do with the hips. I was a scientist before I do my current job as a project manager, but I was not an anatomy scientist. I was specifically in neuroscience, so I actually don't know a lot of like the tendons and muscles and bones in your legs and shoulders and stuff. So that would be really good to learn along this way as well. You know, at a snail's pace, bit by bit. Can't learn it at all overnight. All right, and this is supposed to be the wild thing on the other side. Can't do that, so I did a side child's pose. Child's pose is always great to just go into when you're like, you low-key cannot stretch anymore. Yeah, that is not a warrior. That's crazy. She's so compressed. Wow. And I thought I popped my hip a lot more than it was popped. So, you know, just goes to show. And when I twist, I think I need to be pushing outward, not curving inward. Stuff's good. Instructor kind of emphasizes not to let that bent foot come out, so I think I did a good job squaring it in. Love a pigeon pose. Again, cannot get my bent leg up front to stay in a 90-degree angle, even though I think that's the goal. A pigeon pose always feels so good for me. As she mentioned, like king pigeon and some other type of pigeon poses. So eventually, you know, once I get
familiar with the basic terms of some of these poses, it will be cool to then look at the modified versions and the, advanced versions of them as well. So much to learn. Bow pose. I think that looks pretty good. My back is pretty flat. Shoulders are back. Yeah, downward dogs. Yeah, I feel like your body's supposed when you do an up dog or a cobra, your body's supposed to curve backwards. Mine kind of has this angle. Yeah, this yogi squat. No, this isn't a yogi squat. I don't know what this is. Goddess squat, goddess something. Yep, and I'm finally having the strength to be able to do these um, while not bending my supporting foot. It has to be flat on the ground. Again, really have a hard time doing a wide angle bend like this. I can't get very far down. Yeah, shake it out, baby. Get that somatic bullshit out of you. Oh man, I don't think I'm allowed to say BS in full. To bleep it or something. That feels good too. Again, I'm just so proud that I can touch my toes now. And I speed up the videos so that they're not like an hour long to watch over when I'm analyzing, but um, I'm going through these poses a lot slower in real life. So I'm taking my time with a lot of them. Just doesn't look like that since it's sped up. Yep, again. No, look at that. I cannot bend. There's nothing hinging at the hips. That's crazy. Oh. Baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. We're doing it. We're putting ourselves in the uncomfortable positions and we're trying. You can't get better without doing something. I'm like, oh god, wait. Right under left, left under right. Something I'm gonna have to get another like practice if I want to teach remembering what side is done. Left foot goes over right foot, or right knee goes behind the front, right, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's definitely gonna be something to get into the habit of. Oh, there's a second bridge. You start to do a bridge at the beginning and a bridge at the end, and yep, I am just flat. There's no curve upwards in my mid region, mid to lower region. Damn, is that a vein popping out of the back of my neck? That's kind of crazy. That just might be like cartilage tendon. I don't know. Yep, that bent leg, because it's my bent left leg, definitely needs to be able to come again perpendicular to the camera, not splayed out so much. Man. Oh, yeah, I never know how to do this. Yeah, again, instructor says to kind of like keep your legs as high as you can. I think I'm afraid to put that pressure on my hands while my legs are trying to get more straight up because I have carpal tunnel. I don't want to put, I've already done so many push ups and things, and then to put the whole weight of the second half of my body on my wrists seems kind of dangerous. But baby steps also with that one. That one's really hard. Final supine twist. Love them. Those feel really good to me. Especially at the end when you've really like flossed your body. Other side. Yeah, I think it might just be my eyebrow shape. My face does look kind of relaxed, so I don't know. Yeah, Shavasana. Little body shake. Again, gets cooler. Emotions are coming out. I remember this resting one, corpse pose, being a bit more emotional, especially after. I feel like when we were giving thank yous to the body and thank you, it just felt a lot more emotional this time around. Floor time is so important. I love floor time. Oh my gosh. I didn't realize how important this kind of rest was for the longest time. My job's on like winter break, so I have the luxury of doing longer practices and longer rests. Can't do that at all during the whole year. So, and my thank yous, the namastes, the ohms. Yeah, I remember getting like really sad, or not sad, but emotional about it.
All right, day 2. Yeah, especially after the vinyasa and everything, I have like inflammation issues, and I had a flare up over the weekend. I'm gluten free, and accidentally had gluten, and I was kind of on my ass a little bit, and I just said thank you, like thank you, Juliet, for showing up. Thank you, my body, for still allowing me to do what it needs to get better. Just chronic illness, girly things. But yeah, until next time, thanks for being here.
Aw, yeah. Okay, day 2. Lower hip flexibility, definitely an issue. um, I think, it would be cool to do this every day. I can't in retrospect. So I think I'm gonna try, we'll do week by week, and maybe I'll do the same flow throughout the week, and I will film them on day 1 and maybe day 5, or day 1 and day 7, to kind of see the progress throughout the week. And yeah, it's just no way I can do this every day. But yeah, no progress changing really from day 1 to day 2. I think it was easier to relax in day 2, and I definitely I'm solidifying more of the holes and the gaps that I have. Um, but yeah, stick around. Maybe we'll see what happens. Thank you.